Hey there team, welcome back to the channel and welcome to my review in progress of Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader. I wasn't actually going to do this, but I didn't mind doing it with Avatar. I had to because of embargo, and yeah, the embargo timeline got a little bit confused with this. But regardless, I kind of like the idea of putting out like an early impressions review, you know, while you're still riding off of that hype, but before I settle into doing the full hours. So maybe this is something I do more regularly. We'll see what people have to say. We sort of do a 2-for-1 when I'm reviewing games. But for now, this is my sort of early review in progress. At the time of this recording, I have clocked up 6 hours, and this game is actually going for $69.99 Australian, which is 70 bucks, which is 14 hours. For those that aren't across it, I have an objective 5-to-1 exchange. For every $5, I play the game for an hour. This way, everything's judged on an even keel, and I think that's a fairly reasonable low bar that a game provide that much entertainment for that much money. So, when it's all said and done, I'm gonna have played this for, what, 14 hours? Something like that, which should be more than enough to give a solid review. Anyway, so we're about halfway through that. What do we reckon so far? Well, it's pretty cool, to be honest. I'm a 40k fan, though I'm not sweaty at anything, right? I'm casual at all of my hobbies. That's, as I say that, I would like to retract that statement from the court record, because I have done tournament armies in 40k tabletop, which most people haven't. However, I don't really care about reading the books or anything like that. I like the Xenos, I play as Tyranids and Orcs and that sort of crap. So this is very much a CRPG by the dudes that made the Pathfinder games, which seem pretty cool, though, you know, I only invested so much into them. But yeah, so far I'm enjoying this. The lore is actually quite foreign to me, even though I have that background with 40k. It takes on the Rogue Trader perspective, which I think is a relatively new sort of rebooting of Rogue Trader. The word Rogue Trader was just part of the 40k game back when I played it in 1st and 2nd edition. In 1st edition, 40k was just called 40k Rogue Trader, and then they dropped it, and I started playing, young Scarlet was playing in 2nd edition. But Rogue Trader was just a throwaway line, but apparently now it's been built into the lore as sort of like a letters of marque sanctioned on behalf of the Empire, but still kind of civilian in a way, and you're out there on the frontier causing trouble, exploring, finding new Xenos, and the rule, as it were, is that everything you find, all the planets, all the new species, that they're yours. You can have them, that sort of thing. It's quite generous. I thought it was going to be much smaller scale, but you're kind of, you know, not Space Marine chapter, but it's still pretty epic. It's an epic ship. The whole idea that they find new compartments every day and fish out of water dude, but all of a sudden you're running this ship with frigging, what, hundreds, thousands of dudes on it? I'm still not clear on that. And the idea, I suppose, is that you're going to own all these bloody planets and shit under your protectorate. That's really cool. It's weird. I've never heard of it before. The strangest thing, it kind of gives me Farscape vibes. This whole going around and exploring, you know, on a serialized 90s, 2000s sci-fi TV show. Except, I mean, you're less John Crichton and more Crace. You're more like the Peacekeepers, at least the way I'm playing it. Anyway, just go watch Farscape if you haven't seen it. So yeah, you're cruising around as this dude, which has pretty much carte blanche to do whatever the frig he wants, right? You have a giant contract in the middle of your ship. I'm talking like as big as a frigging office. And it's quite comical, it's quite hilarious. You go around and you know, for the glory of the Empire, and you can lean into it, and this game is very based. It lets you just off the hook, essentially. So much so, I never introduce myself to anyone. I don't talk to the peasants. I have my seneschal, who I get to introduce me every time I go around. I was in the middle of a bloody firefight. I landed in the middle of an ongoing battle, and there was a sergeant come up to me, and I was like, bloody standard attention. You introduced me. A dude standing next to him got blown up by a grenade. So if you want to be, you know, that sort of prick from the 40k universe, go for it. If you're expecting sort of lovey-dovey, you know, Baldur's Gate romance crap, I don't know if this is going to be your thing, man. If you're a touchy-feely elf kind of soy person, maybe not. If you're someone that just likes the idea of like that same sergeant, I'm patting him on the back because he's sending all his soldiers into the meat grinder and telling him it's for the Emperor and it's good, and he's very happy to be a martyr. So it's very oorah, right? It's turned up to bloody 11. The combat is, you know, overwhelming but still serviceable. Like it's a action point system. I've picked a class which I think I kind of hate. It was I couldn't help myself. You could be like a Navy officer with the big old bloody Nelsonian hat of the Space Navy, and I was like, oh, I got to try that out. And it seems the officer's job is to sit behind a crate like an absolute cuck and use his action points to give other action points to other dudes. Like, it's interesting, and I'm going to persevere and all that sort of stuff. But one of the dudes, what's his name, Archibald or some crap in my team, he's pretty baller, running around with a chainsaw, just mowing pricks down. And I've got this battle sister who just hoses dudes. It's a really cool bolter. Like, there's stub guns and all that, which I love, because I played, like, OG Necromunda. So you've got, like, stubbers and auto guns and all these little shit kicker guns that Space Marines would never use. And then I've got this battle sister with a bolt gun, and this thing's firing, you know, friggin' Navy 5-inch rounds, essentially, and when it hits dudes, there's no dude left. And it's good. It's very faithful to the whole theme, the weapons, everything, as best as I understand it. So it's a lot of fun for someone, like I said, I've swum in the waters of 40k all my life. I've been more of a Xeno dude, but, you know, as far as reading a book, no, that's not really me. So it's cool. It's cool discovering not just more 40k, you know, for the Emperor. That's a bit tired. But this whole rogue traitor frontiersman exploration sort of thing, you know, I don't want to go into the story, but you are kind of, you're in a situation where you have to crew up and do repairs. You got busy work to do, right? It's not just off the leash, do whatever. You're kind of locked in the starting system, and you have to run around and tick boxes and that sort of thing. I got into like a family feud with some navigator dudes, which apparently have a third eyeball in the center of their friggin' head, because why not? And I need one on my car because they're the only blokes that can drive me space car. So, and I blew out the other ones, like a starter motor, that's the way I treat it, and that dude got, I'm pretty sure he got like disintegrated or bloody imploded or something like that, so I need a new one. And then there's a family of navigators, and they're all trying to trick me and, no, you should fight for me, you should fight for me. These two pricks trying to make me pick a side, and they're fighting over one of their guy's daughter. So I just killed them both because the Emperor, because I've got my letters to mark, right? You can get stuffed. So I killed them, and then I press ganged the daughter and said, right, Shaz, you're a bloody part of the crew now. And it's cool, you know, she's trying to be insolent because she's from a pseudo-royalty, but she's still a step below me, and I just put her on blast. It's great. Someone came up to me complaining about friggin' workers unionizing below deck and how that might be essentially my first lieutenant's fault. And I shut that shit down immediately. I was like, don't talk to me, get out of here. I failed the quest, but I don't care. And it's good that it gives me the freedom to do that. And I told my first lieutenant, mate, you bloody sort this young officer, whatever he is, Sergeant, Seneschal, something like that. You sort this young officer out for even fucking talking to me in the first place, because this shit's below me. All the voice acting and all that's really, really wild. You've got like this weird psyker chick who, she's kind of channeling a bit of a Rasta man. I'm not putting on the accent, but whoever that voice actress is, oh my god. That's just gonna blow a lung out the way she's leaning into it. It's very impressive. It's very cool. I like everything about it so far. There's nothing to not like. I would definitely say at first blush, like, it is the CRPG in 40k. Like, I don't think anyone needs real pitching beyond that. You know what it is going in. I suppose the only thing is, yeah, if you're a bit of bloody soft person and you're not really into the 40k universe where everything's fucking miserable and and people live and die on the billions every day, well, you know, maybe it's not for you. But anyway, so far so good. I'm really enjoying it, planning on reviewing it. Let me know if you pick it up yourself, because it's just dropped out. It might have come out yesterday. Yeah, no need to waffle. Team, might just leave it there for the time being. I'll catch you guys on the next one.